Call to order a public hearing. This is pertaining to ordinance number 295, an ordinance of the town of Kimball, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2025 and ending June the 30th, 2026.
I make a motion we approve it.
Not yet. This is just a public hearing on it now.
But we will entertain, no comments or concerns there, we'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion, close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now it's, time to call to order the June the 5th, 2025 meeting of the Kimball Board of Mayor and Alderman. I'd like to ask, Vice Mayor Case if he'll lead us in prayer, and, if Alderman Sis will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, Lord, as we come to you once again, thank you for this day you've given us. Thank you for the many blessings, for all that you do for us. I pray, Lord, that you'll guide us in the decisions that we make here tonight and be the best decisions for the town. And I pray, Lord, for our citizens, Lord, that's going through treatments and going through sickness and surgeries. Whatever the situation is there, Lord, that you'll comfort them and heal them, and also, Lord, that you'll comfort the ones that's we've had several deaths, Lord, in our community, that you will comfort those families, Lord, and pray, Lord, for our military and our leaders, decisions that they make, and keep them safe and out of harm's way, Lord, and our first responders also. Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Case. Thank you, Alderman Sis. Recorder May, if you'll call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mayor Pesnell?
Here.
Vice Mayor Case?
Here.
Alderman Matthews?
Here.
Alderman Lofty? Alderman Sis?
Here.
Attorney Galver?
Here. Okay, first thing we have here is the approval of the minutes of the public hearing and the regular meeting from May the 1st, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, old business, Vice Mayor Case?
I don't have any.
Alderman Sis?
I don't have anything.
Alderman Matthews? Okay, I don't have anything under old business either, so we'll just move on then. We have with us tonight, Craig Schaefer, concerning a water issue in town. He come to see me and wanted on the agenda, and told him we'd be glad to have him and put him on the agenda. But he's concerned with some water issues, and of course we get our water from the South Pittsburgh Water Works, and so but we'll let him explain what's going on with him, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Can I use the podium?
Yes.
Drop my box. Thank you for letting me come. I saw Rex earlier today, this week, and asked him if I could come talk to y'all. First, I've been here about 10 years. I live down in Battle Creek, but I grew up in Jasper, and I was there, went to Marion County High, but then I moved away. Then I worked with a really large company that had a lot of process management. And what I'm going to try to show you tonight is that's what I really think we need some help with the water group. They're the really courteous people. They work very, very hard. But this cup of coffee is one of the subjects. On the 23rd of last month, I happened to be going to Chattanooga in the morning, and I noticed they were working on the water where Old Dixie Highway departs from Battle Creek. I said, that's interesting, and I guess they're working on the water. I came home that night, and I was a little bit surprised at what I found. And what's more importantly is the people that are in what I call Ralston subdivision, anywhere in between Battle Creek and Old Dixie Highway, all the houses that go down through there. One of the things that we have is, I got home about 8:30, 8 o'clock at night, and the people that are in that subdivision on Friday morning, when they went to get their cup of coffee, may have had a surprise if they happened to look. I'm gonna show you a couple of things. The water company came out, and I'll just let y'all kind of pass them around. The time is on each one of these when I took the samples. And this is the water that was coming into my house for quite a few hours. This one is a filter system and a reverse osmosis system that was changed a couple of months ago, but it is what it is. Now, the water company did a great job. They came right out the next morning to help me out. But as Jimmy could tell you, I wasn't very, very happy with it. And the reason I wasn't happy is that there was no notification to the people that get this water supply. When they woke up on Friday morning, if they didn't look, maybe, I can't tell you that their water was like mine. I'm at kind of the top of the hill, and then there's a report that they just handed me that I agree with. They flushed the system, as I understand it. They tested my water, but the results were that, okay? And for the other people, I really don't know what they got, but I was concerned about it, whether they would get sick. I talked to a few of my neighbors, and they said, well, yeah, we noticed some stuff floating around in the water, but didn't think much about it. You know, they just didn't look. All right, and I understand that. But what I'd like to do is get the help of this group to work with the water group to develop a process by which they notify people when they're going to open one of these water lines up. So that they can say, hey, we're going to open a water line up. You might want to boil your water, or you might want to let it run. I'll let my water run for 12 hours. 4 water hoses wide open, because that's what I was getting, and I wanted to make sure it was cleared out. Now, they've been very responsive. They came back out the next day, and I asked them to do a test. And they said, okay. I said, can you test that water? They said, no. I understand why. I took the sample, they didn't. Jimmy Hostcall came out and took the sample, and I said, oh, okay, how long will it take to get the test back? He said, oh, about 24 hours. And I said, okay, and this is another part of the process. So things went along, and I didn't hear anything. It was the holiday weekend, so I expected it to be a little slow. Long story short, I took a letter down to them on the next Thursday, and I said, in the letter, what happened to my water test? There was no notification. Again, these are things that happen when you don't have a process or you don't follow the process very closely. So there's 2 things, process and notification. So I need your help to work with the water company to say that that's not acceptable, because your people could have, I think, drank that water. Nobody knows why I got the water. I'm the only one that complained, I guess. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep. So I'm the only one that complained. Maybe I'm the only one that looked. But if you have kids and they're drinking that first thing in the morning or brushing their teeth, I just don't think it's very good. So that's what I'm here for, is to see if I can get your assistance to help. I noticed now they have me on the agenda, I guess, for their meeting next week. You know, and I don't know whether y'all can help support that, about your concerns about your citizens, but I think it's something that we should look at. That's what I came to say.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Sheriff.
Sure.
Appreciate that, and, we did talk with, Marion Gas, Board of Water Works and Sewers, and that's where the whole town gets their water from, and
Sure.
so we, talked to them about it, and they sent a detailed, information about how they handled the process and what they did, and so, Jimmy Campbell, with he's assistant manager there, and he's here, so if you have a rebuttal to any of this, Jimmy, feel free to go ahead and speak.
Well, the timeline was a little bit off, but other than that, we did have a water main break. It's unfortunate, it happens at times. We do our best to keep contamination from happening. We flushed hydrants before Mr. Schaefer's house and after. Didn't have any sediment, our chlorine residual was good. We took samples, the testing was completed. It was a mix-up in the communication. Normally the plant operator who does the test notifies. He thought I called because I'd been in contact with Mr. Schaefer. When I found out that he hadn't received the results, we called him immediately, so it was just a miscommunication on why he wasn't called. But we do our best to make this not happen, and in the 10 years that you've been here, it's happened one time, and,
Yep.
and I've apologized, I've done what I can do, and we review our process. We go by AWWA standards and TDEC standards. It's all across the state of Tennessee. Everybody follows the same rules. When you have a line break, unfortunately, sometimes things happen, and we do our best to make sure that it doesn't happen. All we can do is apologize and try to do the correct thing and try to improve the next time.
And all I'm asking is that they did a great job with that, but it's about the notification, because fortunately or unfortunately, I got to live in about 8 different states for the company that I worked for 33 years. And almost every one of those locations, if they had an emergency or if they had a planned outage, there was a notification system in place. Much like, say, your cable is going to be out, or your telephone or your electric service is going to be off. And that's what I'm asking for, is some type of a notification system for them to develop that would push information out. It's pretty easy today on cell phones and stuff to let people know, hey, there could be a problem. Maybe you wanna boil your water, or maybe you wanna look at your water the next morning. So again, they've done a great job. It's not about the people, it's about the process.
And that's fine, and I think, we'll wait and let you attend their meeting
Sure.
and discuss with them and see if y'all can come to
Yeah.
some kind of a resolution there, and hopefully it'll work out for everybody.
We do have an alert system. If you're registered for it, you have to sign up at our main office, and they can register you for alerts. But it has to be, you have to be signed up for it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll get my samples and get out here.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard.
Anybody want a cup of coffee?
Moving on, next thing on our agenda is to discuss awarding the contract number 125. This is Force Main relocation, funded by a RPA grant. We have with us tonight, Matthew Tucker, our engineer with James C. Haley Company, and I'm gonna let him explain the details and everything for this project here.
Alright, so this is the project we've been talking about for, I don't know, a year or two now. That we started out originally, we were just gonna get out from under the pond, and we're gonna redo Battle Creek. And we met with the lady from TDOT, and she said, can't tie in there, so we redid it, and now it's effectively what was option C in our original discussion, which is we're gonna replace the force main from the pump station all the way to basically the town limits. So you'll have a whole new force main from right outside the pump station, all the way across Battle Creek, tie in right there at where South Pittsburgh takes it over. So we took bids on the 22nd. I don't know, did they get any of this stuff, or do I need to give them?
They have.
Okay, they everything. Okay, so we had our bid opening. We had a total of 5 bidders. I think Mr. Matthews was here with us. We had 3 that actually turned in bids. And if y'all got the bid tabulation, it looks like this. And you can see we had James Bush, Lambert Contracting and Lofty Construction. Of the 3, Mr. Bush was our low at $778,620. We've done work with Bush a number of places over the years. They're a good contractor. They're just outside of Kimball. Silver Point is right there at the top of the hill and going up 40. If y'all are ever on 40 going that way, their office sits right at the top of the hill. That's Silver Point, but it's just outside Kimball. They do work all over the mid-state, and they're a really good contractor. So my recommendation to the board tonight is that you all make award to Bush for that $778,620. And also in your packet, I think she said gave it all to you. I did do a little budget for them, and I did talk to Brina about this today, and all of our numbers are right. So the little budget you guys have got shows basically a breakdown of the whole project. So our construction bid, if awarded to Bush, $778,620. We've got design and inspection. We've got the administrative fees, which is to Southeast Development because they're administering the grant for you. And then I do have a contingency line item in here for $50,000. But that is the total project budget, and that would be the $966,520 that you all see there. Now below that, I've kind of stacked out everything else that goes with it. So Kimball's original ARP allocation from the state was $699,195.88. Marion County allocated an additional $100,000 to you all out of their pot of funds, giving you a total of $799,195.88 in grant dollars. The project required a match, so your required match, that is the $199,798.97, which gives us a total project budget of $998,994.85. So,
That's 20% max.
yeah, that's what I believe. 20. She said 20. I thought it was 25, but she said the numbers were all good, so it's 20%. So that's your match, and then so what I did those last two there is your budget, your total amount you have is the $998. Your total estimated project budget is the $966,520. So if awarded as bid, you will actually, and everything's paid for, including that $50,000 in contingency, you all actually will have $32,474.85 left in the pot. And then there's an additional $25,000 of that is earmarked to do your asset management plan. So where we're at right now, you guys, with the base match that has to go toward the project, with everything on here, you all will end up about $7,000 to the good. So you actually won't, and I'm sure we can add that to the asset management plan and put in, buy a piece of equipment for David to use for the sewer system or something. We can do some things to make sure you guys maximize the grant dollars. So that's where we're at from a project standpoint. We got a good bid. I've actually been in contact with Mr. Bush this week. They're looking forward to doing the job. So, and we're in budget, which these days is a rarity, to be honest with y'all. So I'm very proud that I can stand here and say we're actually ahead of the game if you guys decide to award this. So again, my recommendation is that you guys award it at $778,620 to James and Bush Construction.
Did they give you a time frame when you start or could start and?
So the time frame, so we have to be done by September of next year, okay? So the process, as I would see it moving forward, we're probably about 30 days from being able to have a pre-construction conference. Because if you all award it tonight, then what I'll do is I'll prepare contracts, bond documents, all that stuff. We'll send that off to Mr. Bush. They'll have to get their bonds issued, they'll have to get the agreement signed, get their insurance certificates, they'll get all that back to us. We'll get everything bound into a book. I'll bring those back down here for Mayor and Tanya to execute. Billy's got a spot to sign. Get all that done. And what I've typically have been kind of working through timeline wise lately is if you award this tonight, by the time we come to the July meeting, I'll have all the books ready for everybody to sign. And that way you can be fully executed. And then once we've got that, then we can schedule a pre-construction conference and we can put them to work. So I don't know, he and I haven't really talked about when he would like to start, but the soonest I believe we could put him to work would be about mid-July after we got everything, all the contracts signed and everything issued. Also, in amongst that, once you guys award this contract, if you guys award this contract, then we will send all of this information to TDEC and they will have to review it. I've not had any problems with that process. It's just another step. But what I've been doing is running that step concurrently with the contract situation. So if you award it, we'll send everything to the Sprinat, the development district. She'll put it all in their system. And while they're doing their review, we'll be getting all of our contracts taken care of. So effectively, by the time we get our contract signed and ready, we'll have the TDEC all approval back on it, and then we can basically put them to work with everything in place. So that's the way I've been doing it. It's been working pretty well thus far. And so I would suspect, I don't put any words in his mouth, but I think they'll be ready to move on this pretty quick after we get them ready. And I don't expect it'll be I don't remember exactly, I don't have it in front of me what the contract time was, but I think if we get them started sometime, in July, there's a good likelihood they might be done before the end of the year, if we catch a good working season this fall. But I wouldn't expect they'd be done any later than late spring of next year, which will put us.
He didn't have any issue with the
No. 2026
September.
No, we're good there. And I can tell you the contract time that we put in the book keeps us well within that September time. So that's kind of part of the whole thing, is making sure we gave them enough time to do the job, but we gave them enough time to get it done before we're wanting to be done well ahead of that September deadline so we can get all the paperwork in and we're not in a mad dash right there at the end.
All right, thank you, Matthew, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Explained that very well, I think.
And I don't know if y'all need to as part of the award, but I do recommend that in the award that you guys authorize the mayor to sign. I don't know if y'all do that typically, I can't remember, it's been a minute since we've awarded something, but with this being ARP money, I would say as part of the motion that he be authorized to sign the documents for the project. And if anybody wants to see the bids, I've got them with me, I've got the envelopes, I've got everything, if anybody wants to look at what I do have, so.
A little bit difference in the bids from, like Matthew said, $778,000, and the other two were well over $1 million each. If we're ready, Mayor, I'd make a motion to accept James N. Bush Construction Company for this project, contract 125 for the force main relocation, and also authorize the mayor to sign the appropriate paperwork that's needed, along with our attorney if there's.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate everything you do.
At some point, maybe not right now, but I do need your John Henry on those copies, so. John Hancock, John Henry.
Alright, next thing on the agenda is to, Matthew Tate, Kimball Maintenance Department employee, came to see me and had a, letter of resignation from the Kimball Maintenance Department. His letter, very nicely done, Dear Mayor Pesnell, I am writing to formally resign from my position as a maintenance worker with the town of Kimball, effective immediately. The decision was not made lightly. After careful consideration, I believe it is the right time for me to move on and pursue, new opportunities that align more closely with my personal and professional goals. I want to thank you and the town for the experience and learning opportunities I've had during my time here. I'm grateful for the relationships I've built and the skills I've developed. I wish you all well. Signed, Matthew Tate. It's a very nice letter of resignation, so in light of that, I would, like to make a motion that we accept Matthew Tate's resignation from the employment of Kimball.
Second that motion.
I do want to say that I wish him well in his future endeavors. Got a second?
I did.
All right, and then, any other discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next thing we got is second final reading of ordinance 295, an ordinance of the town of Kimball, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Make a motion, we approve it on the second final reading.
I'll
Ordinance
second.
295.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, approve the Stevenson Police Department to purchase Chevrolet Tahoe 85, VIN number 0673, and Chevrolet Tahoe 87, VIN number 2546, in the amount of $12,500 for both Tahoes, or $6,250 per Tahoe.
I make a motion to sell it to him.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. All in
Get
favor?
them off the lot, looks like a used car lot right now.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright. Next thing is, we still have the two Dodge, Chargers, number 81, VIN number 8564, and the Dodge Charger 82, VIN number 8819. And I'd like to make a motion that we put this out for bid and accept bids on those two vehicles. Like those bids, to be back by August the 6th at 3 p.m. And then we will award the one at August the 7th at our next meeting.
I'll second your motion on that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next thing is approval of a contract between the Southeast Tennessee Development District and the town of Kimball, providing local planning advisory services at $9,825 per fiscal year for the fiscal year 26 and 27.
Make a motion to approve that amount.
Second.
technically, Alderman Matthews needs to be to approve the amount and the contract.
And-
And
okay,
authorize
and
the mayor to
contract.
sign. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll amend my, motion to approve the amount $9,825 for the fiscal year and the contract between the Southeast Tennessee Development District.
Thank you, sir.
And also allow the mayor to sign it for it.
Second.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next thing we have is, approval of the local government corporation annual support invoice, 2025-2026 in the amount of $37,076, effective July the 1st, 2025, along with the hardware and maintenance agreement.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
That need to be done somewhere.
Well, I think the motion to approve would be both the contract and the price, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we have, approved the, volunteer fireman insurance, the Steve Frost Agency. Policy renewal effective July the 1st, 2025 for accident and sickness for Kimball Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department in the amount of $3,990.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Alderman Matthews, the maintenance department.
Talked to David today, and he said, it's what we wanna hear, all the pumps are working well, everything's going good.
And they did get the one that we had sent off to be repaired, they did get it back. Got it in storage, I think, so that's good. Okay, fire report, Alderman Sis.
The department responded to 6 calls for the month of May. There were 1 Signal 9, 2 rescues, and 3 investigations.
That's all. Okay. Alderman Lofty's not here tonight to do the park board report, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The park and recreation report, the Braves baseball softball camp is being hosted tonight at Kimball Complex. And there will be a free fishing day hosted by the town of Kimball and TWRA at the Kimball Pond this Saturday, June the 7th. Gates will open at 6 a.m. We'll have some refreshments and drinks and prizes to give away for all the kids that show up for that. Hoping to have a good turnout. And now the Squatchy Valley Electric Cooperative will be hosting a reenactment on June the 11th at Kimball Park, starting at 10 a.m. And there will be a soccer camp Saturday, June the 21st at the Kimball Park for players ages 4 to 12 years old. The camp will be hosted by the Club Chattanooga Red Wolves players. That's all we have on the park. Police report, Vice Mayor Case.
Litigation tax and training fees, $118. Court costs, $482. Fines, $475. The report fees, $30. Sessions Court, $499.70 for a total of $1,604.70. And the department, had, answered 313 calls for the month of May. You don't want to into the next one?
Yeah. Continue on with the planning commission report.
Okay, the monthly planning commission meeting for May was held on Tuesday, May the 20th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. On the agenda was Zaxby's site plan for 354 Kimball Crossing Drive, former Pizza Hut location. The site plan was approved. All other items were discussion only. The planning commission meeting scheduled for June will be Tuesday, June the 17th at 5:30 p.m. and the public is invited to attend.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor Case. That'll move us on into no attorney report.
You have no report, Mayor.
Nothing to report, okay. That'll move us on into the new business. Vice Mayor Case, do you have anything on the new business?
I don't.
Alderman says,
I don't.
Alderman Matthews.
I'd just like to make one comment, it's not new business, but I know she would not want me to do this, but I'd like to give a shout out to Tanya for the way she prepares all these, 60 papers and has it all in order for us. I know that takes time to do that, so I appreciate that on behalf of Mayor and all.
I think we all agree, she does a very good job of having the meeting prepared. Okay, under new business there, I've got a few items here. The town auditors will be on site June the 9th and June the 10th for preliminary work on the 24 and 25 fiscal year audit. Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury sent a annual compliance report form for 2024 showing that the town of Kimball municipality is in compliance with no additional action is required. Town hall maintenance will be closed June the 19th for Juneteenth holiday. And our next meeting will be Thursday, July the 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. We have any public comments? Did you raise your hand, Matthew?
I think something the town, needs to be thankful for, I know I am, and that's the property tax rate that the town has.
Very, very proud to have that. We've been blessed. Sure have. Any other comments? If not, we'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you